You're Wild King Dave.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Julius.
It's your boy Agent John.
And I'm Honey D.
Hey,
Yes.
what's up?
Yes,
man? It's been a
people.
long time.
Yes, it definitely has.
And
How long has it been? Like
Oh man, it's been
3
years.
years? 3
been a long
years or
time.
something like that since the last
Since I
time I've
was
seen you
Honey D, man.
guys.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got her today on the Timeline Talk Show where we talk about what pops up on our timelines. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just get right into it, yo. Is this the worst generation to dating? Have we reached that peak? what I'm saying?
Damn.
Honestly,
Let's start with Honey
I'm
D.
so sorry.
Nah,
Let's
you
start
good.
with
You
Honey
the
D.
guest.
With her.
You the guest. Yeah.
Honestly, I heard. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, so don't quote me. But somebody told me that studies say that millennials actually have the lowest divorce rate right now. So, like, if you're married right now, like, it's actually like, like people in marriages are now lasting longer than they did in the past. So, in all honesty, again, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just throwing that out there. Now, my personal opinion. No, go ahead, Julius.
Now I was gonna say you seen it on the timeline, huh? I seen it on Instagram.
On the
No,
gram.
no. I was having a conversation with somebody, and and in all honesty, I have homegirls that, some of them are married, and then some of them just have been with their significant other or with their fiance for a very long time.
Wow.
Now, as far as dating, yes, it is very hard dating in this generation, I would say, the millennial generation, because everything is about social media. What's in? What's everybody doing? Everybody's painting this picture that relationships are perfect and everything's great. You have money, I have money. We're taking trips. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So and it's just like we're not really right now, the music that we're listening to, the stuff that's on TV, like the music has always been like kind of controversial, but it's progressively getting worse. And then a lot of people actually let that shit get to their head, and it's just like, no,
That's true.
music is just for
You are what you
pleasure.
listen to.
So you think
Exactly.
you think that's affecting us dating? Like
I do believe that
music?
affects. I believe that
Wow.
the things. It depends who you are.
Yeah.
It depends who you are. If you
True.
let that thing get to your head, you want to be like Future. You want to be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure I'm in the studio, fuck a bitch. I'm gonna
That's
fuck
crazy.
all these bitches, even though I got a good female next to me.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are going by that.
That's interesting.
They feel like that's the best way to have it because bitches ain't loyal
Yeah.
because they done seen their homeboys
Mm-hmm.
fuck niggas' wives.
True.
Like and it happens. People
Yeah.
cheat. Like, let's be honest. Like, you're with somebody, you're doing the same thing with the same person for a lot of years. One of y'all's bound to do something wrong.
You get bored with
Feel
the
like-
same person after a while.
But
Exactly.
I mean, could we avoid that though? Is that like
Avoidable.
how could we avoid getting bored of our partner? And John, I want to come to you because you're 21, 22. You're in the heart. You're in the heart of. You're in the heart of millennial dating. So I want to
Yeah.
hear
Definitely.
what your perspective is on it.
I've never even been the dating type. Just like,
There you go.
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding. Just joking.
I've had opportunities, but I've just never wanted to like cater
Uh-huh.
myself to one person. And
Mm.
well, that's more of a me thing personally. But I mean, with a lot of people, it's like that.
Yeah.
And with social media, puts a different perspective on everybody. Just different mindset nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Can't say I really blame them, but it's just how shit is now.
Do you enjoy the social media, like, kind of like no, how could I say it? Like no rules. You make your own shit. Like, oh, hey, we're just friends. Like the word friend in this generation has something else now. It's like, we're friends and that's it. But we're gonna do everything a couple do and
Oh
like.
my gosh, that irks
But
me.
we're still just friends.
That irks
are
me so
you-
bad.
Do you you
Friends,
feel like
though.
If you don't catch feelings, then who
you're
gives a
good? You're
fuck?
good with that?
Yeah.
Straight
You
up?
see,
Okay.
I totally disagree with that. Like, we are not about to play the whole boyfriend and girlfriend
Yeah.
role, and we're friends because you hitting it raw, boy.
Mm.
I get pregnant. Oh, and I got pregnant by a nigga that ain't even my man. Boy, bye. Not doing it. That's not cutting it. That is not cutting it at all whatsoever. And people not thinking like that.
True.
People are just thinking, oh, I'm having fun. Everything's in
Yeah.
the moment. People aren't thinking ahead. Yes, you should definitely live in the moment. You should definitely, but you should plan ahead as well. You
That's
should
true.
take care of yourself,
Yeah.
ladies. Wear protection. Take birth control.
Especially in this like it's
Especially in Broward
Be-
County.
males
It's
as well.
everywhere, like-
Everybody.
No, but
You know?
Broward's up there. With
Broward's
like,
up there, huh?
It's Miami, and then Broward's up there
Yeah.
with STDs
Because
and
if
shit
you
like
think
that.
about it, you have a friend, right?
Yeah.
A friend, the type of friend we're talking about.
Yeah.
And
Like
you're at
benefits.
the same time having sex with other girls, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
she's having sex with other guys, right?
Yeah.
And you're still hitting it raw, right?
Not anymore.
You're hitting it raw
I was.
after that. So, okay. Now that we got that cleared up,
But you see how different it is, because John's like at that. I feel like it's a phase, you know, like we go through it and then we're like, you know what? Nah, I'm worth, nigga. Like I got standards, I got morals now. And let's go to Julius.
Oh, you
Julius,
totally different now, huh?
what do you feel about that, Julius? Like you feel like we're in the worst dating era of all time?
Bro, honestly, there's so many things I want to touch on with the whole friend situation, right?
Yeah.
And then wanting to fuck with so many people, right? I think it's more, and you were saying like, oh, you get tired of being with the same person, right? But really, I think we're like looking for so much satisfaction outside of ourselves that like we get something, we're like, oh yeah, this is gonna satisfy us. Then it doesn't anymore. And we're like, oh, we want something else. But
and we're
really,
looking
it's
approval
us.
from other people because
But
we're not approving of ourselves.
Mm.
Exactly. So if you don't love yourself and you don't take the time to really like, damn, what do I really want in a partner, in like a chick that I really fuck with or like I really admire, you know what I mean? Then it's gonna be tough, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really gonna be able to connect with a chick to the fullest potential because you don't even know who you really are. So you just try and cop a nut, and then after you get the nut, it's like, oh shit.
But
Hey, you got
Last
some shit to
time-
do today.
I mean,
The last time I connected with
Oh.
a girl was like middle school or high school.
Well, check this out. Let me tell
See,
Like
y'all.
on like that's I don't know.
with John saying that, like, does that matter at his age?
Does that
Bro,
matter?
the thing is,
Like-
social media is such a distraction, bro. We distract ourselves with shit that's not important
Like what?
24/7, bro.
Can I answer
With,
Dave's
with
question real
with
quick?
bad bitches.
At his age, does that matter? I feel like it just doesn't matter what age it is. It
Mm.
matters because you're getting a lot of these different soul ties to you. You're not
True.
healing from anything
Mm-hmm.
because you're just going through the motion of just doing
Yeah.
things and not
Mhm.
thinking about it and not being conscious of the decisions you're making and what you're doing with yourself. Because at the end of the day, just like Julia said, it all
Mm.
goes back to yourself.
Exactly.
If I value myself and I'm a woman that I
Mhm.
value myself, I'm not going to sit there and have sex with a whole bunch of guys
Mhm.
and let a whole bunch of men inside of me. You're putting yourself inside of another human being. Think about it. That's what sex
it's
is.
True, yeah.
Which is
That's
the
what sex is.
which
Yeah,
is
but
the
sex
issue
is
right
like-
now, though.
Like sex, I don't know. It's like not what it used to be.
well, let me
what
let
it
me
used
give
to be. What kind of sex
You
you
see?
having?
This is the divide that we're going through.
Let me give you
because
the thing
it's
is,
Y'all
different.
girls
so
ain't getting
normal
freaky?
now.
I don't know what's
the
going
thing
on over
is,
there.
I feel like we always had, like, even back in the 70s and 80s and shit like that. Like, if you didn't have social media, you had drugs, hella drugs. Like, there was mad hippies all over the place, getting
always
fucking
something.
high as fuck, fucking everything and
That's
shit
still
like that.
now.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But then now you also have social media on top of that, which is
Right,
even
right.
more distraction.
Right.
The other
So
day,
it's being put in your face now.
this is like what I was born from, and then look at where we at now.
Right, right.
My mom, when my mom and dad were together, he went to this military thing for like a summer and shit like that,
Mhm.
right? Bro, she has a notebook where she was writing to him every day about like her day and all this shit, and she was gonna give it to him when he came back. And she found it and she showed it to me. I was
That's
just
love.
like, damn,
That's
that's
love.
crazy.
That's
like,
love.
Facts.
niggas don't even have the time to write letters anymore. It's
We in the
like,
DM.
hey bitch,
We
you
in
ain't
the
get my
DMs.
text.
You know?
we send a gif and shit like, hey, I miss you, with like a funny gif, and that's like the most. Like, we don't really
Yeah.
have enough time to sit with our own feelings and sit with ourselves, bro. Like, there's always something to keep us entertained, whether it's not Instagram, it's YouTube, whether it's not YouTube, it's saying what's up to the homies, whether it's not that. So, oh shit, doing something else. It's like, damn, we barely got time to sit with our own selves.
Yeah. And I
So,
think what it does bring us back to is, you know, it is self-love, and I feel like that is a solution for a to bring those long-lasting relationships back. I feel like it is self-love and just spending time with yourself and just falling in love with yourself, man. I feel like people really overlook it and they kind of fear it because they're so used to being with somebody, whether it's temporary pleasure or just like temporary entertainment, and it's just like, yeah, like it's an issue, man. We're scared to be alone. Everybody's scared to be alone, so
That, and I also feel like social media idolizes pettiness. So it gets into our head and it idolizes ego as well.
True.
So um with that being said, that does not allow us to communicate with a significant other effectively. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of you being upfront and being like, yo, I didn't like this. Like, I really did. And you don't
Yeah.
have to come to them and yell at them and throw shit and do all that
that's how you
extra
say
shit.
it.
There's no need for all that bad energy to come out. Like, vibe. Just vibe. Talk to the other person.
Communication.
those
Communicate.
tough conversations, man.
Like, very,
Yeah.
very easy. Like, yo, like, Dave, I didn't like that when we went to a restaurant, you didn't open my door.
Yeah.
Instead of walking in, having an attitude, not talking to
Like, what's
you,
wrong with you?
blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah. You're wasting valuable time with your significant other. All that lingering on of the anger and all that shit. Like, you know what you like. Be vocal about
True.
it. Talk. Say, people aren't mind readers. You can't expect a man to be a mind reader, and you can't expect a woman to be a mind reader.
Yeah, and it comes back to communication. But then
Yeah.
social media
Yeah.
again, because before a girl has an issue, are they going to social media first, or are they going to their significant partner and saying,
They're
hey,
going on social media and
posting
posting
subliminal shit.
subliminals and stuff like that, and then they turn around and say,
I
"Oh,
used to hate
stuff
that.
that
Like,
I post is not applied to my bitch." Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Like, come holla at me. Like, and that's another issue.
Yeah,
Come
but
at me,
guys-
bro.
But if guys want to get pity, they be on that shit too, though.
They
Yeah.
do.
We gonna post
I
some
see
lyrics
that.
and shit. Some
Oh my
Drake
God, I
lyrics.
see
I'ma
that,
look
and
up a
it's
Drake
so
song.
annoying, and it is so
Alright.
annoying.
Alright.
Like,
So social media is this.
just talk.
Fuck
Yeah,
this.
we
My friend
definitely
is
got
so weird. Like there was this girl that he had like a thing going on, and like he didn't want to like view her story or something like that, because then he
Mhm.
would pop up.
So
on,
she
like,
wouldn't see that he
so
saw
would,
it.
Like secretly like put it to the side.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah,
put
yeah.
it back. So she wouldn't view on her story like he's trying to fuck her or something. It was-
Oh man,
I was just like,
we're
what?
fucked up.
But that's why I was saying pettiness is being idolized, because you
Yeah.
post those things, girls are like, yeah, girl, fuck that
Yeah,
nigga.
bitch.
Mm-hmm. Because they got over here, they decided to go and have a kid with the wrong person, and then
Yeah.
now they going through it, which brings me back
Yeah.
to having sex with multiple people without condoms,
But, hey.
because you don't know who you're sticking it
It's-
into, because these women
I'm
and
trying to
these
get AIDS.
men will make your life a living hell after you have
But
a kid
then
with
it's
them.
hard when
if
you got
they can, and
Oh,
if they, oh
it's
my
hard.
God, it's
Trust
horrible.
me.
It's hard when you got hot girl summer.
I see my friends go
hot
through
boy
it.
summer and shit.
I
you know
see
what
my
I'm saying?
friends
You guys
go
ever
through
had a
it.
scare like, you think you got some girl pregnant and you get all scared for like a week or
Oh
two?
yeah.
That shit's like
Yeah.
a nightmare.
Hell yeah.
Does
bro.
that shit not want to make you wear a condom? I'm confused.
Yeah.
You know it's crazy, man. When you're young
But if you're
and
drunk-
dumb,
No, I'm like,
It's
you know,
different when you're young.
You
Yeah, that's
done
what I'm
with the
saying.
situation, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm good. After you done prayed 10 times, as soon as, oh,
Which-
you're not pregnant? Oh, all right.
Which we actually
That's just one of the problems.
and
though.
we did a
it is,
segment like
it
that
is,
in our
yeah.
show, which is because it's just so important. Just how
Mhm.
we do get that fear of like, oh, am I ready for it? Like, oh
Yeah.
God.
Dead
please.
ass.
Episode
We'll all
2,
do the prayer,
Greg gets scared. He got
And
his
we'll
girl
refer to
pregnant.
the scene and all, but yeah, that's why we touched on that in timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah,
season 1.
communication can definitely make you build a strong relationship
Come
with
a long
somebody,
way.
whether if it's a friendship or whatever it is.
Oh,
If
yeah.
it starts off like that, that's great. And it also builds your sex life. If you
Yeah.
are communicating
Intimacy.
to your partner what you like.
Intimacy,
You know
right?
you like
Word.
certain things, tell them, be like, yo,
Word.
I like XYZ. I like when you do that. Can you do that? Like, you
Word.
know,
True.
like, same thing with men. Like,
Anal beads.
you
and
know,
shit.
yeah, whatever. Butt plug, let's
Ain't
do
no
it.
beats.
Like, who, I don't know. Like,
Right,
it doesn't
right.
know whatever you
Word.
like.
Yeah.
Julius.
I mean, man, we're
Whatever you
Nah,
like.
nah,
Like, of
it's
course,
true,
there's a
for real.
pineapples. Like, there's a pineapples where
Word.
like, yo, whoa, no.
Yo,
I'm not gonna eat your ass.
especially
Like,
our
you good.
generation, yo, like our generation grew
We
up
took
on
it
like wild
far.
ass porn, like
yeah.
so if
Stupid.
I mean, eating ass.
Stupid.
we're definitely
Eating
way
ass is
freakier
considered the
than like
norm
our
now.
past. Well, I
Yes.
mean, I don't know.
Eating
The
ass-
hippies was
I
probably
mean,
doing
like-
some
Eating ass
freaky
is
shit.
normal now. Yes. That's,
Well, I
I
don't.
never thought, like in high school when I was hearing about that.
You
shit,
never
like,
thought you
5
would
years
eat
ago,
ass,
I'm
right?
like, what?
People were doing it. They just weren't talking about it.
True.
They weren't
they were doing it
publicizing
from the
it.
70s. You're right.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Oh.
They were doing it from the 70s. You're right.
they weren't publicized.
Being
Yeah,
nasty
that's,
and
that's
shit.
it.
They weren't publicly out there with it.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Gates, again, music.
But
Kevin Gates came out
Oh,
talking about
he
he
made
eat
it
the
popular,
booty.
yeah.
Everybody eats the booty now.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing with a guy
Eat
like that. I
groceries
don't
and
know if
shit.
he really about that life or he was just doing it for like like
Uh,
trends
No,
type
no,
shit.
no. His
So
girl
many-
bad. She looked clean. She looked like everything intact down there. So I don't see why not.
True.
I don't
Yeah,
see
he
why
might be
not.
about that life. True.
Damn. So what we got to do? Turn hip hop off.
No,
Spend time with our
Nah.
motherfucking self.
Not turn hip hop off, but don't take it serious. That's not your life.
Yeah.
And that's barely their
Don't
life
let
too.
it control you, right?
But D, you listen to that shit 24/7. That
That as
shit's
well.
gonna.
That as
And
well.
Hip-
Hip hop
gonna
is the
stick,
number
yeah.
one genre right now in music.
Mhm.
So
If
it
you don't
kinda
got
does
cause to me,
have a hold on the world right now. It's like, damn.
That's why I try to listen
Hip
to other
hop.
stuff.
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah,
true.
like I listen to everything. I listen to a lot of different music, but I also got a whole huge ratchet playlist that I love to listen to.
See the girl
Goddamn,
shit.
all the time. You know what? Like
Little
I like
pump.
City Girls when I
But
want to
ain't
turn
all
up,
that.
but if I'm riding in my car, you think I'm gonna put on City Girls? No. Like I want to
Yeah.
listen to
Putting
some
on some old school
to
shit.
some Future, some Money Man, some
Oh,
something,
some Future facts.
something else. Like
some
that's
Dolph.
some Young Doll for sure, for sure.
Hey, you a hood nigga, man.
Yeah, like, but that's why I say
Hey,
like I can
please,
listen to
man.
that shit and it don't
Yeah.
get to me. Like it don't.
Yeah.
It's not gonna affect what I want to do in my
Yeah.
relationship at the end of the day. You know, it just depends what kind of mindset you have.
True.
If your mind
Cause
is strong enough to
Yeah.
intake that and
True.
block the actual like from it affecting you as a person.
so see, you went through
I
that
feel you.
journey of getting to know yourself though. So you're maybe at the point where you know like that
Oh
shit
yeah,
can't.
I disconnected from life.
Yeah.
I cut off.
And
my
that brings me to
hair.
something else.
I went
like, you know, that's,
vegan. I stopped talking to people. I broke up with my boyfriend. I left my
Yeah.
job. I stopped being friends with people. Like when I tell you, like
you got to do that.
I
For
did.
how long?
I was vegan for almost a year. For almost a year.
Damn. And
Yeah.
what about, damn. Son. Hey, don't forget I got the headphones. We hit that loud ass Ric Flair woo.
Ad-lib. You have to do that
damn,
sometimes.
how long did
Yeah,
you
Disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole break was just straight being vegan, or like you
It
went
was
off
a
social
spiritual
media and
journey.
everything?
It was a
For a whole
spiritual
year?
journey.
Oh shit.
Still on it. Still on it.
Yeah, true.
That never
Word.
stops.
But you needed that
Always.
that like gap. Of
Oh yeah,
just,
no,
like,
I needed those huge scissors to cut off all that dead weight so I
Mhm.
can live on like without all that weight on me. Like I had to
You got
I
detox.
was myself toxic. Myself, I was.
So you got
and
to
I'm
detox
not
that shit.
I'm not going to put it on other people.
Yeah.
And just
Word.
other people.
gotta
I was
cleanse-
toxic myself
gotta
and I
cleanse
learned
that
that.
Word.
And I'm still
yeah.
I'm not saying like, oh, I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm still
Yeah. But
working
you're
on
trying.
myself. That's an everyday journey for the rest of your life until you die.
Mm.
For real.
But
yeah.
I had to make sure that I was on that journey, but not everybody else was.
True.
So everybody else that wasn't on the same page with me, they had to go. I'm on a whole
True.
different book now. Like we're
Yeah.
like we're
or
two
else they're gonna
different-
keep trying to pull you back to where you
Yeah.
was, and it's like, damn.
And it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. It's depressing. It hurts. But
but we got to go through it. We
you
gotta-
gotta go through
As
it.
humans, we got to go
Mhm.
through it.
You
man.
have to go through it.
Yeah.
And that's
I
when
think
you
that
learn
sums it up.
standards.
Word.
You know?
Yeah.
We touched
Yeah.
on a lot of
No, it's
stuff.
true, man.
Want to thank our guest, Honey D. You know what I'm
Thanks for
saying?
having me, guys.
Honey
I really
D,
appreciate
you know,
it.
For sure.
Yo,
We worked with
that's
her in the
it.
past.
It's only 20 minutes, yo. Let's go another 10, son.
I felt like damn. We
Yeah,
touched on
it was some good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
down.
I'm
I
happy.
don't really care. I
Yeah.
got another 10 on me.
Self-love.